Good.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Whenever you think of electric cars, what comes to your mind? Efficiency, sustainability, saving the planet. Many of us believe that electric cars are greener and better alternative to gas-powered vehicles. But what if I told you this isn't entirely true? Today, I want to challenge the widely accepted belief that electric cars are the solution to environmental problems. While electric vehicles or EVs are marketed as sustainable, the reality is far more complicated. I've done some extensive research into production of life cycle impacts of both electric and gas-powered cars. And what I found might surprise you. We're going to take a closer look at two critical aspects: the hidden environmental costs of manufacturing electric vehicles and the life cycle emissions. By the end of this presentation, I hope to give you a new perspective on what it truly means to drive sustainability. First, let's talk about environmental cost of manufacturing electric cars. Many people don't realize that producing electric cars has its own set of challenges, especially when it comes to mining the materials used in the batteries. Mining for battery materials is incredibly resource intensive and damaging. The battery that powers electric cars rely on materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. Extracting these resources is far from clean. Mining often destroys ecosystems and exploits workers in developing countries. To give you an example, lithium extraction alone uses enormous amounts of water, often draining supplies in already dry regions. This can have devastating effects on local communities. And it's not just the mining, it's also the production itself. Did you know that building an electric car emits up to 40% more CO2 than manufacturing a gas-powered car? This is largely because of the energy-intensive process of producing lithium-ion batteries. While companies are working to make battery production more efficient, it's still a long way from truly being sustainable. So EVs are marketed as eco-friendly. The reality of their production tells a different story. Now let's look at what happens after you drive an electric car off the lot: their life cycle, emissions, and waste. Many people think EVs are cleaner because they don't burn gas, but that's only part of the story. Changing the electric car still contributes to emissions depending on where you live. In areas where electricity comes from coal or natural gas, charging an EV produces as much carbon as driving fuel-efficient gas car. So zero emissions. So their statement on saying that there is zero emissions is not entirely true. There's a problem of battery waste. Recycling lithium-ion batteries is extensive and inefficient. This means that batteries end up in stock supplies, creating long-term environmental hazards. Electric cars aren't the magic bullet solution. They're often made out to be. Their hidden costs are just as significant as those in gas-powered vehicles. So, what does this leave us? Am I saying electric cars are bad? Not necessarily. They do have its advantages, like reducing tailpipe emission, but it is essential to look at the full picture and consider its trade-offs. The next time someone tells you that electric cars are the answer to climate change, I encourage you to think critically and ask questions. Sustainability is complex, and solving the environmental challenges we face require more than just switching from one type of car to another. Thank you for your time. This is my ID. And then here's my audience. And Rex.